Lowery. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Captain Cool.
Hello and welcome in to a thirsty Thursday here in No Man's Land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery. And Bandy, I am currently having a problem with my headset. I had to put it on the charger last night, and right now it just keeps on turning on. If you don't know, I use this JBL headset to kind of work out. So it turns on, it also connects, and I'm able to use it, a little double dip. Right now, I'm hearing an insane echo, and I keep trying to turn them off, but I keep getting them. Baby, it's not your fault. I need to have a word with these. Either way, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I mean, we got basketball to look forward to today. We got NFL news. We got college football news. I know how you're a self-described uniform file or like jersey file, and we got some reveals about what throwback jerseys are going to be used today. Well, not today, but in college football. One of them being Illinois. But silence there is kind of telling. We'll give you more of our thoughts later on in the show.
Baby, I did see those. And I have to admit, I've been waiting so long for a team to represent their 1940s, 1930s uniforms. And I got to say, it is finally the day they are back. Last time, I always talked about the Washington Redskins back in 2013, RG3. You remember those beautiful kind of maroon-looking uniforms with the leather-looking helmets? Those things had to be some of my favorite uniforms in the NFL, especially the throwbacks. And I know that's definitely a questionable thing, but I liked them. Now we get to see the college football scene jumping in. And I got to admit, was it Illinois?
It was Illinois.
It doesn't look terrible. I mean, obviously the jersey looks pretty bad, but it's supposed to be representing an older uniform that they had, before the World War. So, I mean, at that point, you got to look at it and be like, well, it's college football. Some kids might like it. It might draw a few more recruits to your school, but, it's the scene where you can actually throw out some of those oddball ideas and see where those goes. I mean, Rutgers just a few years ago had the long sleeve uniforms, and I can't even remember the last time I saw those on a field. I don't think in my lifetime I'd have, but when I see that coming onto the field, it may be a little bit off the wall, very unprecedented, but at the same time, it's intriguing. And it's something that I could see bringing some kids into the school being like, okay, you know what? They've got some diversity in their uniforms. I mean, that's why a lot of kids go to the Oregon Ducks. It's not because it's in Oregon, I swear.
I feel like there's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not the worst thing I've ever seen. Not the worst. But it's up there.
They're pretty ugly.
They're
okay.
They're very bad.
I'm not trying to doubt.
They're bad. we can just say that they're bad.
They're about as bad as whenever the Pittsburgh Steelers were throwing out their Bumblebee uniforms. All right.
Okay, wait. The Bumblebee uniforms, or the New York Giants new throwbacks coming out this year?
New York Giants.
Okay.
And they're ugly, but they're not as ugly as Pittsburgh Steelers. Gold and yellow. Well, yellow and black. I'm still getting an echo over here. I keep turning them off, and it's just very disorienting.
What if I do this? What does that help out a little bit?
Check. No.
Dang. All right.
It's really coming from the headphones. Either way, we got to
try the program one Tom method. Didn't work.
Totally fine, Bandy. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll slam these headphones and maybe they'll start working. Who knows? Either way, we got a lot of stuff to hop into. You guys are able to jump into the conversation. 256-576-4977 is the number to jump in. And I want to listen to some new callers. We get the Jeremys, we get the Brandons, the Natty Dannies. But, we want to try and add on to a little bit of the caller list, get you guys in, of course, get you guys ready for the amazing games we have looking forward with the wacky underdog picks, the fantasy football, of course, what we talked about on Wednesday yesterday, the list of the wackiest sporting venues. Like, I loved having Jeremy call in, and he was talking about something I've never even heard about. WWF in the subway in New York. That is one of the coolest venues I think it could be.
Also known as a usual New York Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Except for a little bit less rats, running around. That's what they should have had. They should have had, like, instead of a chair, you use a rat and you just like swing it around. Either way, if it's not the uniform that's going to pull in some of these players, it's going to be the branding around some of these stadiums. And we'll be talking about some stadiums because, Bandy, you wanted to bring up the ugly Illinois uniforms. I want to bring up the ugly renderings that are the Cleveland Browns stadiums. But let's talk about that later because some news came out a few days ago. Florida, is it Florida International or is it Florida Atlantic?
Are you talking about the renaming of the field?
Yeah.
It's FIU.
Yeah. The Panthers. Oh, my gosh. What a wonderful small Conference USA school. I think they're the Conference USA. I believe so. Well, because Pitbull's got so much money, he's already dove into the NASCAR scene. He's hopped into plenty of different things. At that point, when your name is as popular as your music, that's whenever you can kind of roll with the rest of your career. You don't really have to do too much. Similar with Snoop Dogg. He just sells his name and he could go and make millions of dollars at the Olympics. Shaq, on the amount of commercials that I see him on, is he the General? Is he the Pizza Hut or the Papa John's? Like what does he do? Icy cold or icy hot? There's so many things that he does that he's able to just make all the money off of it. But Pitbull decided, I don't have enough. So why don't I dive into the college football world and I make this stadium have my name in it?
Hey, it's good. It's a good investment.
Let me tell you, Bandy, there are missed opportunities here. Yeah, Pitbull Stadium sounds really cool, but this is the FIU Panthers we're talking about. There are going to be so many confused kids out there that are going to be like, oh, yeah, it's the Panthers. It's the FIU Panthers playing in the Pitbull Stadium.
Mr. 305.
Mr. 305.
Dolly.
Golly, you're really good at that.
Oh, thank you. But there's a little more to it, too, with what he's buying into. He's going to be also known as the official, quote, the official entrepreneur of FIU athletics, end quote.
Okay.
Gives him free use of a stadium for 10 days a year,
All
VIP
right.
suite reservations at all home games for the artist, and permission for, quote, Pitbull affiliated performer to perform at halftime or post-game of a home game.
Do we know how much he paid for this?
I think around $6 million.
Oh, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. For an FIU school,
Oh, it also solidifies the artist Volley 305 Vodka as, quote, a preferred brand distributed in the stadium and stadium club.
That's okay. If it was exclusive to the stadium, then I would totally understand that. I had to take off one of my ears. I'm serious. These headphones keep turning on every time I turn them off. That's my first problem. Either way. Also, on top of that, we will be talking a little bit of fantasy football because if you guys didn't hear, Tom announced the dates and the location for the DFL this year. I'm very much looking forward to it. Am I going to run it back a third time? I might leave it to you, Bandy. But the one thing we got to look at is being administrators. I know you kind of did it last year with the second league.
Yeah, a little bit.
But now I got to do it, and I've never done it before.
It's not too bad.
Okay. As long as it doesn't take away too much time from me, stacking the roster, which first tip to fantasy football is don't think too much about the initial draft. Of course, you want to get those top tier players, but at the same time, you're going to be able to re-up so many times throughout the season, depending on the rules. But for the DFL, I mean, maybe there was some flaws, but I was able to mix and match a lot of dudes throughout the season, and you guys probably will be able to. Either way, that draft is going down on the 27th at Carrabba's Italian Bar and Grill. Is that what the name is? The full name? I will say it smells a little bit like a cafeteria in here because the Talking Ball boys actually got Carrabba's earlier. And now I'm already hungry, and I already ate breakfast, but they kind of extended me to lunch now. I see Bandy's got a little sandwich, a little snacky snack over there too.
They were nice enough to bring me one as well, but nah, man, it is eyeing me right now. Like I am staring at it. It is going to be completely gone after this show's over.
Oh, probably before. Probably before. You might be munching over there in the third segment or something like that. Also, John's not hopping on with us because he's too busy dealing with a girl named Debbie out on the East Coast right now. So he decided to go to Dirty Myrtle, hang out with Debbie, have his car kind of break down, and now he's hanging out with a good friend of mine out on the West Coast. So definitely giving him some thoughts, some prayers that he can get back home. All I got to say is, I know it was a problem not having AC, going down to Florida, spending around $300+ for gas.
Ugh.
But at the same time, the Shagwagon didn't break down once. And I don't know how much John's going to have to be paying, but he should get himself a 2004 Ford Expedition Eddie Bauer edition. And that thing will never break down. You might not have AC, but it'll never break down. On top of that, we're going to be hopping into a little bit of Texas football. Of course, an injury is definitely going to be the subject we get into today. And then also, Jim Harbaugh gets punished. I'm very much looking forward to talking about that. And of course, we have some listeners that would love to hop in. Yeah, I know, Bandy. Either way, that's what's coming up. I'm going to try and fix my headset. I can't even talk with this. I feel like I'm talking in slow motion. That's what's happening when we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-90s. Maybe we get an isolated, widely scattered shower or thunderstorm to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, but odds are better than not. Probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the low 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. Again, an isolated shower is possible. Most of us going to stay dry. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. We are going to be cooler and less humid across the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text STREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STREAK to 321-321. That's STREAK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Randy, I know we didn't have a conversation about this, but we gotta make sure some of these songs stick to the Wacky Wednesday episode. But it's a great one. It's a great one. Welcome back in, everybody, to the Morning Blitz. Johnny Graham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
I'm now rocking a normal headset, not giving me the echo, so I should be able to flow a little bit better in this one. I'll talk a little bit faster, I feel like, because it sounded like I was talking like I just ate a huge bucket of peanut butter in the last segment. Either way, I wanted to talk a little bit about Jim Harbaugh before we get into anything else. He gets a little bit of a punishment from the NCAA, and it's not for what you think. It's actually for the recruiting violations that happened back during COVID-19, where he was watching their workouts, he was communicating with his players. He was not supposed to be, but he was. And you could say that this guy already punished himself. You know, he already apologized for it. But, you know, it's something that the NCAA still, to the end of the season, to whenever he left the NCAA, left college football to go to the NFL, the NCAA still didn't have judgment on not the newest of the problems that Jim Harbaugh had, but the one prior to it. So it took him about 3 years to figure something out in this situation. And that just shows you where the NCAA is at. They're dealing with too many other things to worry about the problematic coaches that are in their entire corporation. So that was something that went down, and it's a 4-year, you know, if he tries to jump back into the college football scene, he will be completely out of his first year that he is. And he's got 4 years. Okay? So if he comes back in the next 2 years, he's going to be out for 1 year. And then, you know, the punishment will totally be gone. The thing is, I don't know how well Jim's going to do in the NFL. He already did it before. So I think he'll probably be fine. But he's on a 5-year, $80 million contract for the Chargers. He's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
This 4-year clause is going to be gone before we know it, and Jim Harbaugh is probably going to just get a little slap on the wrist, and that is what this is.
That's all he got. In fact, a slap on the wrist probably would have been more than what he got, because if he just never comes back, nothing's going to happen with him.
Yep, no doubt.
And like you said, 5 years, $80 million. He can just write out his entire contract. If he wants to come back to the NCAA after that, then fine. Because it'll be completely up. There's just nothing it's essentially no punishment.
Yeah.
They made it seem like a punishment, but it's not really.
They really made it out like, hey, we're doing something about it. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, he's getting punished for it.
But what'd you do? Nothing.
And then all we get to hear from him is, I don't know why it's so quiet, but wait, I know why. I know exactly why. See, I've been producing Tom's show so much so that it's gotten difficult to produce the own thing.
I did not participate.
I did not participate. I do not apologize. Today, I do not apologize. I stick firm with what I'm talking about. He might suspend himself, but he doesn't apologize. He's not going to apologize. Either way, let's get into a little bit of the fantasy football talk because you guys need to know what to do And honestly, I need to look down a few of these guys as well so I can understand which quarterbacks are going to be rocking a hot, which running backs are going to be the ones you want to go with, as well as the wide receiver cores that you guys are going to want to pick up. Now, last year, Bandy, Josh Allen was a huge piece to anybody's roster. How is it going to look this year, though? You lose Gabe Davis. Okay. You lose Stephon Diggs. Okay. Is he going to be able to find success with the wide receiver core that he has now, with the team that he has now? Because it feels like there's definitely an opportunity for him to continue to succeed in that Buffalo Bills organization. But whenever you lose a pair of wide receivers that you've been playing with for quite some time, it gets to the point where you might regress a little bit.
Yeah.
Last year, he was the top of the league, had 410 fantasy points all across the board. The guy was an absolute freak. But this year, do you want to jump on him so quickly that you don't even get to see how he kind of matches with his new wide receiver core?
See, it's kind of tough, though, because with Josh Allen, I feel like it's going to regress a little bit.
Yeah.
But not much, because whatever he's going to lose in the air, he's probably going to make 4 up on the ground.
And that is true. He is kind of like a Lamar Jackson in a way that he is able to get outside of the pocket, run down the field, and score touchdowns. There's only one other guy that's close to him in that, and that is Lamar Jackson, who, of course, owns the league when it comes to getting down the field and scoring touchdowns using his feet. Josh Allen is going to be an interesting pickup for anybody that wants to get a quarterback that they might think is going to be top tier. I don't know if I would say stay away from him, but I would be a little bit more cautious when picking him up. But you do see who he's got on his squad, right? I mean, Keon Coleman coming out of Florida State, absolute dog, absolute beast. But then you look at the rest. Curtis Samuel, that's a decent pickup. But Khalil Shakir, I don't buy in to the rest of the wide receiver core. I mean, Marquez Valdez Scantling, which it's getting to the point where I was perfecting his name in the past. I haven't had to talk about him in about 2 years. And now it's a similar situation to some other wide receivers where they're just kind of falling into the background. They don't want to be on the field. They want to be able to kind of just be there if they are needed and hopefully not get their name called because they're already making millions of dollars. So that's another thing you got to take into account. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be a stellar quarterback to start off with. Always is. First game of the season is going to be against the Baltimore Ravens. Not a fair matchup. Not a great one for the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you think about Patrick Mahomes too, though. It's like, all right, it's like he's easily like top 2 best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
His team's incredible. But kind of on the fantasy side, you got to think more to the point. It's like I don't know. He doesn't really like elevate himself like point wise because
he doesn't.
Guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they'll have like higher highs than Mahomes.
Yeah.
But he's very consistent.
Yeah. Josh Allen had almost 100 more points than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. It's like if you just want that consistent point getter for your team, like Patrick Mahomes is definitely not a bad pick.
Yeah. I think that he's another guy you got to look at. He'd probably be the 4th or 5th dude picked off the board just because it's Patrick freaking Mahomes.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, I would think, is a better option, though, because he's sticking with the same squad he has. All right. Devontae Smith. That's one guy that you're already looking at like, this is going to be good. He's going to continue to be successful. I think that Jalen Hurts is probably going to be one of the best, if not the best fantasy quarterback this season. Last year, he put up 371 points in fantasy football. So you look at what he's able to do there, and then you look at, the squad that he has this year. It's not that different. It really isn't that different. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Paris Campbell. The squad's going to follow. And on top of that, Johnny Wilson, another Florida State Seminole coming on over. Arguably better than Keon Coleman. I wouldn't say so. But this guy is tall. He's able to get up. He's able to score. I don't know if he's going to be as physical as Keon Coleman, but Johnny Wilson's going to be another little sleeper pick that you got to listen for his name because if Devontae Smith, if A.J. Brown gets injured throughout this season, he's going to be the next guy up. And you can't forget about John Ross either. One of the fastest wide receivers in the league.
And what kind of surprises me, I'm looking at the ESPN list, which kind of like predicts like how each quarterback really stacks up.
Yeah.
You got Anthony Richardson in the top 5. You've got him behind Mahomes. Like they go Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
For the top 5. sitting in front of CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Jordan Love. I mean, just throw out anyone you want to, including they got Tua all the way down to 17.
Yeah.
Which I can admit, he does get hurt. But that's a lot of faith in Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I do agree, especially because we only got to see him playing 4 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
Still the most inexperienced quarterback in the NFL. It used to be Jordan Love, but then 4 games into the season, Jordan Love is already surpassing it.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson is going to be a big old question block. I don't know if I would pick him up right out the gate, but I would keep an eye on him because if you are, throughout the season, you already have a solid starter or somebody who is decent enough. I would say Kirk Cousins. Pick up a guy that is going to kind of complement him in an Anthony Richardson, somebody that is going to be running outside of the pocket, somebody that is going to be very athletic. Anthony Richardson would be a perfect pickup for that, but I see why they would say that this guy's going to do pretty good because of the squad that he's got. When it comes to the wide receiver core, he's dealing with Michael Pittman Jr. And if you know Michael Pittman Jr., you got to get him. You need to get him, especially when Anthony Richardson's not playing, but who knows how he's going to do this season with his star wide receiver. Anthony Richardson is going to be a question mark. I say wait for him, 2nd, 3rd round, see if he's still on the board, because I don't know how many people are actually going to be jumping to get AR on their squad right off the bat. So it's going to be an interesting one right there. Bandy, do you have any other sleeper picks that you kind of want to throw at us outside of the AR-15? Even though you can't really call him that. He's the AR5 now.
Sleeper picks.
Anything from you?
It's kind of tough with a sleeper pick. I mean, when it comes to this guy, though, I don't think he's really a sleeper pick due to just how well he performed last year. But, I mean, again, having CJ Stroud out of the top 5 on this list and thinking that he's not going to ball out again when Houston has improved their wide receiver core.
Yeah.
He can show he can make plays on the ground. I mean, I could see him being in the upper echelon of point getters for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that did add on Gabe Davis to the squad. Of course, we've talked plenty about the other guys that this team has. What a wonderful squad it is.
Rocking with Tank Dell now.
Yeah, and there is, Tank Dell, I mean, just him alone. I mean, that is going to be an impressive get to pick up on your squad. If you look at the Houston Texans, a lot of the AFC South teams are going to have those wide receivers. That's why I've talked about them so much. They're going to have those wide receivers. One team I would stay away from just a little bit is the Tennessee Titans, just because I'm unsure about their quarterback situation. But the Houston Texans are a perfect team to kind of just pick from and have 2 or 3 players that are going to be able to kind of work together. Okay, even in the backfield, Joe Mixon's on this team, guys. Zach Moss was having success with this squad last year. Joe Mixon, one of those guys that was at the top of the NFL in the running back position. You pick him up, you might be able to have him as your 2nd or 1st, and he's going to be able to run with it. I personally am going to pick Aaron Jones when it comes to the running back position. That's just because I've done it for the last 4 years. It's just what I do. But again, the Texans have Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. Yeah, you might think that they're going to take away from the productivity of each other, but that still means that these guys are probably going to put up 14 to 15 points a game.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to look forward to, as well as the consistency. If your guy's putting up over 10 points a game, that is perfectly fine. As long as he's getting above 10, then you'll be able to ride all the way to the end with him. And hopefully he doesn't get injured.
But Captain Cool, we need to hop into a break, though.
That's totally fine.
But when we come back, we got breaking news out of Chicago.
I can't wait.
And you know what? It's something that White Sox fans have been looking forward to for probably a while.
Okay.
All 10 of them left.
I'm glad you didn't bring up the Caleb Williams purse thing, because that would have been I would have been like, no, we're not TMZ. We're not going to rock with that. Either way, more of the Morning Blitz when we get back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
College football season quickly approaching. Alabama enters the Caitlin DeBoer era. The new head coach taking over. Crimson Tide are plus $700 bet to win the SEC championship. Georgia at plus 200. Texas plus 325. Ole Miss right behind the Tide at plus 700. Auburn in the middle of the pack plus 6,000. Tennessee's always a threat plus 1,400. Baseball today, the plus 125 Brewers visit the minus 150 Braves. Charlie Morton starts for Atlanta. Frankie Montas for the Brewers. Hunter Green starts for the Reds, minus 200 at Miami. The Marlins plus 165. That's the VSiN action update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
T-minus 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
Groups have more fun with the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Toyota Field is the perfect backdrop to celebrate. Please enjoy great benefits like preferred seating, $2 ballpark credit per ticket, recognition on the video board, all-inclusive options, and much more. Visit TrashPandasBaseball.com/groups for details. The Rocket City Trash Pandas. Have a blast.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello and welcome back into the Morning Blitz. It's a thirsty Thursday here in No Man's Land with me, John Abraham, Captain Cool, and the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
This episode is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. You can find them at FlemingHSV.com to get your quote now. Bandy, we're getting closer and closer to the football season, and you know what that means.
What's up?
It means we're getting a few more games on the show, okay? Last year, we started out with the wacky underdog picks. It started like a week in, maybe 2 weeks in, so we were a little late to the game show party. But this year, we're going to be starting well before the season actually starts. So we will be talking with you guys about what challenges or what games you want to see, what underdogs you think are going to win. And that's kind of the rule right here. Because some of you guys didn't understand it last season. You pick the underdog to win a game, and you get the points from the spread. So if the Cleveland Browns are playing up against, I don't know, the Baltimore Ravens are a 6-point favorite. You pick the Browns, you get 6 points if the Browns win.
Yes.
We keep those points adding up throughout the season. We'll probably have a halfway prize, I think, this year. And then we'll have an end of the season prize that will be bigger than the halfway prize. You might get a shirt for that halfway prize. But at the end, you might get some golf. You might get something wild. Who knows? I'll let you know whenever we get close to this, the actual wacky underdog picks. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Last year, we had a few guys challenging us and getting in on the game. This year, I want the phones to be ringing off the wall, okay? I want you to stress Bandy out the way that I was stressed out just last Friday. I want him to be shaking in his boots over there. But I do want to be conversating quite a bit with the listeners, and I cannot wait for that. And you can still get in on the show right now at 256-5764-97.7. Bandy, what's the news that you want to throw at me from Chicago?
Well, actually, we got two breaking news now. I'm just seeing that's come across my feed. I mean, we're talking about the UFL and players making their way back into the NFL.
Yep.
But the Cincinnati Bengals have now signed Birmingham Stallions defensive lineman Carlos Davis. Finished the UFL season with 8 sacks, 20 QB pressures, 7 tackles, and 1 forced fumble. He's also the twin brother of Khalil Davis.
Oh, what do you think about that? That's interesting. All right, Chicago news. What do you got?
Out of Chicago, the White Sox, after finally snapping their 21-game American League losing streak, they finally did it.
I saw that.
Against the Athletics. They have now fired their manager, Pedro Griffol.
Get him out of here.
Griffol?
You're close enough, Bandy. Just be confident about it.
Led the team. Want to take a stab at the possible record he gave the White Sox during his time there?
So was he there for it's had to be around 300 games. He's been with this team around there, roughly
around I'd say like 270. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not that bad. So I have a feeling that he lost probably 160 of those games.
More?
Yep.
He finished the record with a record of 89 and 190.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's why they've been the laughing stock of the MLB. Them alongside the A's, which, hey, they actually beat the other night. So that's pretty impressive. That's interesting. We'll be following that story a little bit more. Who's going to replace him? Is it going to be a big enough replacement to actually see this team succeed? I don't think so, just because of the track record that the Chicago White Sox have had. They've just been bad for, I would say, forever. But Bandy, we also got some news out of Texas, and this is actually over in the college football world. And it comes out of, it comes at a time where we definitely need to get on with John Burroughs again, talk with him a little bit about, what this team's going to be able to do in this situation. But Texas Longhorns running back CJ Baxter had a lot of hype behind him going into 2024. Texas always had something special in the backfield, though. But with the new college football 25 game, there's been a lot more to talk about a lot of these college talents. Thanks to the game being in almost everybody's house, except for Bandy's. But fans knew a little bit more about the studs going into the upcoming season. And CJ, he was one of those guys. He was one of the names. You freaking hop on Texas's football team, you're either chucking it to the plethora of super fast wide receivers, one of those being Isaiah Bond, or you're running the ball with CJ Baxter and the rest of his merry crew, which are all extremely fast. But now this running back gets into a little bit of an injury at practice. This was on Tuesday, and he ends up tearing his LCL and his PCL in his right knee. We got the news yesterday that he will be out for the entirety of the 2024 season. That is a very tough loss for the Texas Longhorns. We were very much looking forward to seeing what CJ Baxter was going to be able to do, kind of going off of that 2024 season or the 2023 season where he was able to kind of step in for Jonathan Brooks. And he was able to put up 600 and something yards, and he was also sharing a lot of those carries with another guy in the form of Jaden Blue. And now with CJ Baxter being injured, it's kind of just like handing the torch over to the next best, which he is very good as well. And of course, that is Jaden Blue. He only had about 370 yards last season, but this is the difference between a team like Texas coming over to the SEC, really putting that emphasis on the running back position and also the wide receiver. I mean, just everything. This is just overall a great Texas team. But that's the comparison that we could put. You know, you might lose your number one, but you got a number two right behind him. Whereas with Florida, they lose their running back in a bad little injury. Montrell Johnson, who a lot of people were saying was going to be one of the best running backs in the SEC in 2024. He's injured. He went through surgery just a few days ago, knee surgery. And thankfully enough, it was a smaller injury than, you know, what we had to see CJ Baxter go through. But you're looking at a team that honestly does not have a lot of help. Whereas with Jaden Blue, you're going to be able to see a lot more. Quintavion Winsner, he's also on this squad. He's a sophomore. And you're going to get to see that young talent that honestly is probably going to help out Texas in the long run, because Jarek Gibson's on this squad, as well as Christian Clark, who I believe played for, is it one of the two freshmen played for IMG out in Gainesville, Florida. One of them played in Phoenix. So it's just, that's the great thing about Texas. Being in the middle of the country, they're able to bring in so many guys from all over the place. So if one guy from the East doesn't work, let the guy from the West work.
Yeah, Christian Clark's the one coming in for Phoenix.
Okay. Then that means Gibson's coming in from Gainesville. And that's just kind of another punch in the leg, a little Charlie horse for the Florida Gators, just being like, dang it. We probably should have pushed a little harder when it came to the running back position. Because if Montrell Johnson's out, what the hell are we going to do? That's the question. Again, though, running back, how important is it for this Texas offense? You got Isaiah Bond. You got Matthew Golden. You got Silas Bolden. I mean, what else would you want? Your tight end's either going to be Gunnar Helm or Amari Niblack. And if you've seen Amari Niblack, this guy's like a gigantic wide receiver.
Yep.
He's going to be able to get into the backfield very quick. He's going to be able to get behind safeties even. He's a dangerous player. And to succeed in college football, let alone the NFL, you need to utilize your tight ends. And I think that Quinn Ewers is going to be fine. Whoever is behind him, whether it's going to be CJ Baxter, Jaden Blue, Quintravion, there it is, Winsler, or any of the other young talent that this Texas team's got. We got to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to close out this Thirsty Thursday edition of the Morning Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at 5. Bingo every Monday night too, starting at 7. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-90s. Maybe we get an isolated, widely scattered shower or thunderstorm to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, but odds are better than not. Probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the low 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. Again, an isolated shower is possible. Most of us going to stay dry. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. We are going to be cooler and less humid across the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Guys, we have football tonight. Didn't know if you knew about that. Have you seen all of what's gone down with the Lions and the Giants, Bandy?
I think what surprised me the most is that Daniel Jones started a fight.
Well, he was definitely involved with the fight. The guy that's really started a lot of fights has been Malik Neighbors.
I didn't think he had it in him.
And I got to admit, this kid's got some spunk. He's also got a lot of talent, but he got to watch himself, all right? He's a well, I was about to say he's a freshman, but he's not. He's a rookie. There you go. This ain't no college football scene anymore. He's playing with the big boys. You got to watch out if you're a Malik Neighbors type of dude, you know, causing a little bit of ruckus, you know, pushing and shoving. I love it, but it's also going to probably get him in the end. Even though you can't target, you're not supposed to hit the defenseless wide receiver. You know that somebody's going to lay a pretty dirty hit. We've seen it in the past. Odell Beckham got rolled up on, and it's just something that happens. So you got to be a little careful in these situations. But today we're going to get to look forward to the Lions and the Giants, as well as the Panthers and the Patriots for a little bit of preseason football. Ooh, and I'm actually excited for both of these. Panthers and Patriots, it's going to be a terrible one. But it's the preseason. Anything can happen. We might get a little spark. Malik Cunningham's on that team. Who else is on that freaking Patriots squad? I have no idea, honestly.
Are they going to be playing, though? Like, we're going to be seeing some of these starters.
Bandy, the Patriots are going to be playing everybody. There is no such thing as a starter on that Patriots team. And the Panthers aren't much different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wide receiver core might be a little bit more thin for the Panthers just because there is some talent there. But the Lions and the Giants, you're definitely not going to see your Jared Goffs, okay? You're probably not going to see your Sam Laportas, and you're probably not going to see a lot of the wide receivers as well. Giants, they're probably going to throw out a few of the rookies and take them out as soon as possible. Daniel Jones, if he touches the field, then that's probably the dumbest thing the Giants could do, even though they need to do it. But you know damn well that there is a huge opportunity or a huge chance that he would get injured in the first drive against this Lions team. This is a big boy Lions team. You do not want to mess with them. Don't even play around. Also, in the NFL news, the Cleveland Browns showed off new renderings of their new NFL stadium, and it is domed, I guess. Guys, this has been in the works for quite a while now. And I got to say, they really had to show us one of the oddest looking football stadiums in the entirety of history. Bandy, go take a little look at it.
All right.
This is like Indianapolis Colts odd, where it's just like a rectangle building, except for there's a lot more triangles to it. And it is going to cost a measly $2.4 billion to erect in Cleveland. It has gotten outrageous with these football stadiums. The Buffalo Bills know what they're doing. They're going to renovate their stuff. They're going to put up a new stadium. It's going to be open. It's not going to be an arena just because they want the Super Bowl or, the NCAA basketball tournament in it. They're the ones that are doing it right, whereas the Cleveland Browns were like, let's overthink this like crazy. What do you think about the stadium, Bandy?
Man, I don't think it looks like terrible, but what you got, I kind of like the idea of a lot of these teams moving to bowls, though, or like the domes.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a hot topic.
Because how many games have we seen where, weather plays a factor. I do like those snowed-in games. Like, you'll get them up north. But I'm just thinking from a fan's perspective here.
Okay.
Would you want to go to an NFL football game, sit in those cold metal seats in the snow and in under 10-degree weather and watch football for 4 quarters?
Kinda, but kind of not. So you're making a good point. And honestly, a lot of people probably shouldn't be too bothered about it. But at the same time, whenever you move to domes, there's usually also the move to artificial grass. That's another thing that could throw in there. It doesn't really affect the viewer. It affects a little bit of what the actual in attendance is going to feel. But for the viewer, you're not getting that same, the snow's coming down, the field's going to be a little bit covered. The rain's going to play a factor. There's no such thing as, some of those iconic games. And now with all of them going to a dome, I believe the Bears are also going to do it. It's going to take away from a lot of the personality that each of these stadiums have. Now, on the other hand, they still have a little bit of personality from the outside. But how often are we actually going to see the outside of these stadiums unless we actually go? All I know is, Bandy, I am booking a trip to Cleveland, and I need to go and sit down in that stadium so I can watch a game before they move to a future that honestly is going to be very geometric.
It'll be mixed. If it's a retractable dome,
that's a perfect thing, though. That would be amazing.
Like you have the real grass, but when the weather gets too messy, you just close it up.
This one's not retractable.
It's not retractable.
No, a lot of the stadiums that don't have retractable domes, well, actually, like 2 of them. What they do is they keep the field outside of the stadium, and then they roll it in whenever it's game day, which is actually extremely cool. And I think more places should do it, but it costs a lot of money. How do you guys feel, though, about all of these crazy new stadiums that are being thrown at us? The Tennessee Titans are on the board for a new stadium. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the board for their new toilet bowl stadium. It does look like the top of a toilet bowl, I will admit. And on top of that, the Bears. The Bears have gone through a bunch of different renderings. I think they've actually come to the point where they might actually have an open stadium. Not 100% sure on that, but I know for sure that the Bills will have an open air stadium. So they're going to keep it traditional. It's going to look nice. The Browns, on the other hand, not even trying to really match their brand per se, but it's definitely going to be something. Definitely going to be something. Bandy, tomorrow's going to be a fun Friday. John wasn't able to hop on with us today. I doubt he'll be able to hop on with us tomorrow, but you can look forward to Drudy Armin hopping on with us, talking a little bit of college football all around the conference, not just to Alabama, not just to Auburn, but we're going to be talking a lot of college football around the area. And on top of that, might get a special guest on. Might go all the way out across the world. Do a little one-on-one with friend of ours over in the UK. How about that, Bandy? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, for me and the Bandiman, it's been a lot of fun. Make sure you guys check us out over on the YouTube at WZZN TV. Subscribe to that slick mamma jamma. And on top of that, you can get our app, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, on Apple and Android smartphones. And follow us on X or Twitter, whatever you like to call it, at 97.7 ESPN to keep up with all of the shows, all of the guests, and all of that good stuff you love about Huntsville's #1 sports talk radio. We'll see you guys in 22 hours here on the Morning Blitz. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted